Now we're going to start program number 4, which is on page 7 of your GCSE booklet. So this is a rather simple piece of code, which is using input boxes for the first time. The input box is a function on the Visual Basic compiler, which allows a kind of a message box to appear in the center of the screen, which can prompt the user to write something into it. So we're just going to play with that for a bit. First thing we're going to do is create a new project. Windows form application, and a sensible name. I'm going to call this program 4 iGCSE. So typically, again, we have our form and our windows displayed. I'm going to try and do this quite quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the label, as you can see in your diagram there. The text of that label says type your name and the program will display it. So now what I'm going to do is just make sure that label has a proper name, which is LBL. Here on this exercise, the booklet doesn't tell you what the name of the object should be. So it really is up to you to create a sensible name. And I'm going to call it label title. So now we go to a button. Oh, I'm just going to pin that in. I don't like when it behaves like that. So I'm going to get the button, click here. And it says I should display start on there. So I'm going to call this CMD start. And I'm going to put start as the text property. Now I've got a label box here. And I'm going to call this LBL name. Oh no, that's what the name is. So I'll copy that. I'm going to enter here your name is. Let's change that to small. And move up to the name of the object. And now I'm going to add finally a text box. You could use a label box here because it looks like this program is just going to be displaying in here and the user is not entering, but we'll use a text box. I'm going to call this text box TEXT name. This text box will have no text. So the form is designed. Now we're going to write our code. Our code will be behind the button because that is where we want, when we click on this button, we want the code to run. Remembering we don't touch either of these two lines. So first thing we do is rem, Dara, rem, today's date, and explain what the program is doing. So here we go. The code couldn't be easier. The first thing we have to do is make a variable, because when we enter the input box, we need to give that value to the computer. But this is not an integer. Because it's a set of text, a name, we were going to create a string. So I'm going to call name as string. Name is going to be equal to, and this is the new piece of code. So input box, brackets, and you see this big, large amount of helping you here from the computer, but we just do this. Input box, please enter your name. Colon, close the quotes, and close the brackets. Enter. Now the input box will appear, and the name will move from the input box into this variable here. Now what we're going to do is display that. So text name dot text is equal to name. This program should work now fine. Let's test it. Press play, press start, and you can see this has come up here. Please enter your name. Well, my name is Dara. I click OK, and Dara appears in the text box. That's the end of program number 4, page 7.